I have learned is that anger is a secondary emotion, which means that it's not the primary one. There is something that causes anger. Hello, friends and viewers. We are very glad to come your way again with our discussion on love. I think that you have received a lot of materials and discussions from Connected Hearts concerning love. And today we just want to discuss the issue of anger that we have, and anger that comes, when it comes to relationships that we have with our spouses and at home. And so this is Connected Hearts. We pray that this discussion will be a blessing to you. And the question is that why do we have anger in relationships? It creates a lot of problems. Families have been destroyed, marriages have been separated, divorces have happened because of this anger issue. And so we want to find out what causes anger. And I just want to pass it on to Angela. Maybe she will be able to help us do this. But my name is John Obing, and then my wife is Angela, and we work together in this Connected Hearts relationship discussion.
Thank you, John. As you rightfully said, my name is Angela. And before I go on, please hit the button down, subscribe to our channel, and be ready for more information. I think in the series of love, today we are talking about love. Love is slow to anger. And he asked the question, why do we have anger? And I said, somebody in behavioral health, we know anger is one of the strong emotions, and people get angry for so many reasons. And in relationship, anger can be anything from, in actual fact, we do say that anger is just the iceberg. Underneath that anger is multiple things. It could be as a result of being disappointed, as a result of being upset about something that didn't go the way you wanted, as a result of somebody saying something, or it could be as a result of trauma that you've experienced in your childhood, that how you've processed it always triggers you to be angry. And we can get angry about so many things. And yes, anger can lead to, if not processed or not understood, can lead to breakages in relationships. But as we're trying to identify anger, we want to really ask ourselves the question, when I feel angry, what really is it that I'm angry about? Or what is making me feel angry? That's one of the things that we do, trying to really label our emotions and trying to figure out what we need in order to help us to process our emotions. So we ask the question, what really causes people to be angry? There could be multiple reasons. Some people get angry for no reason. Probably as a child they've learned that anger gets them what they want. So, or be able to express, or be able to show their dominance. Or they had relations or people who model in their relationships for them, got angry and they saw the effect. So sometimes kids learn that when they get angry, they get what they want, or they learn that when they get angry, people are afraid of them. It shows superiority, it shows this, especially boys, because we sometimes say that boys can't show their emotions, but when you show anger, it shows how strong you are, which is it's a myth, which is not true. To be emotionally intelligent, male or female, you want to really understand your emotions. Emotions are good. They help us to be able to identify what is going on in our space, both internally and externally. And it helps us to be able to direct ourselves in a way that we can respond appropriately. So that's why I would say probably there are multiple reasons why people get angry. And underneath the anger is what we really have to identify and find out and be able to get clarity so that we can be able to resolve the anger.
Yes, and I agree with you. So one of the things I have learned is that anger is a secondary emotion. which means that it's not the primary one. There is something that causes anger. And it could be disappointment, it could be frustrations, sometimes it could even be fear. You know, it can create all sort of angry situations in the lives of people. And one of the things that I believe is hampering marriages is disappointment. You know, people get disappointment, and instead of dealing with the issue, they use anger to cover it. You know, and I think that is important for us when we are angry to check within ourselves what is causing us to be angry. Are we disappointed? Are we frustrated? Are we afraid? Are we sad? So that we can deal with the actual emotions and be able to connect with our spouses. You know, and if you look at the word anger, and you put D in front of anger, what word do you get? I think it's danger, isn't it? So when you are in angry situation, you are really putting yourselves in a very dangerous situation.
And if you always have angry moods, you're always angry.
Yes.
That means you're not really communicating well in order to be able to address that emotion appropriately. And therefore it can lead to more distraction in your relationship.
Yes. And so as married couples, I mean, we need to find ways to deal with anger. You know, how do we deal with our angry situations that we find ourselves in, and how are we able to become a bit more transparent when we find ourselves, you know, always getting angry? How do we deal with that, and how do we resolve that? I think that it's an issue we need to look at. First and foremost, I feel that it's important for us to find out what is causing us to be angry. You know, I think that is important.
So when you're angry, the first thing you want to do is to ask yourself. You want to really ask yourself, why are you angry? What is it that I'm angry about? And if you're able to identify what it is that you're angry, you're seeking to understand. And if you're angry at your partner, you want to also take a step back and also ask yourself, what is it that your partner has done that is making you feel angry? Because if you really do love your partner, anger should not be a cause or reason for you not to communicate how you feel. Like we said, underneath the anger is different emotions. So I could give an example. Like maybe you planned a date night with your partner, and your partner, maybe something came up, didn't show up on time, was late, and you put all this energy into making the date night really awesome, and you waited, and as soon as the person walks in, you are so angry with the person.
You always do this.
You start doing that. You always, anytime you plan something. But if you ask yourself why you're feeling angry, you could really realize that you were angry because one, you were disappointed. And one also, maybe you were angry at him because him not showing up or not really coming when he said he would come, show that you were important to him. Because you felt like this was very an important occasion, he's promised to be there. So you being able to identify the reason why you're angry and be able to label that, now you can makes you be able to go have that conversation with your partner, not in anger, but be able to express using I statements. That I feel really unimportant when we put in all this effort to make this date night and you don't show up. It makes me feel that you don't care for me. It makes me feel that I'm not important like the other things that come up for you. So that is how you want to address your anger individually and also as a couple. And you're also doing this, and when you address it that way, you open the door for your partner to have empathy. But when you address anger head on by reacting, then your partner also becomes defensive. This same scenario could have gone another way, whereby you met the person with anger, they also met you with anger because you don't know what happened. I almost got killed in a traffic accident, and instead of you asking me in a quiet voice, in a nice voice, you just jump on this thing. You're selfish. So it could also end that way. That would not be resolving the issue. So it's very important when we are angry, first ask yourself, what is it that I'm angry? What really is the emotion underlying this? Is it you feeling disappointed? Is it you sad? Is it you upset? Or then second, you want to really get empathy by using your I statement. Say exactly how you feel and how you want to address. And lastly, you want to be able to make sure that you are always, when you're angry, it's a moment to take a step back, calm yourself down, go do other things that will help you, then come back to really talk about how you feel. So that's what I'll add.
I think that is very important. And as you mentioned, disappointment can create a lot of anger in us. And for us to deal with disappointments, we need to also look at our expectations. Sometimes it's your expectation. You are expecting something that you haven't communicated to your spouse, and it creates that kind of the fact that you become disappointed because the expectation has not been met. So I think another way of dealing with our anger is also making sure that we are very clear in our expectations. We are
how
we communicate that. I think that is also very important. And as Angie mentioned, when you realize that after doing all this, you are still, you are still angry with your spouse, sometimes you may have to remove yourself to be able to resolve that. You may have to remove yourself, maybe go out and walk a little bit and come back. By the time you come back, you might have calmed down. Maybe you do something different. Don't stay in the situation, so that you'll be able to at least calm yourself down, come back, and then connect with your spouse. Because you love your wife, you love your husband, that is why you are together, and you don't allow your own expectation or lack of expectation, your own disappointments, and to affect and to destroy this beautiful relationship that you have.
You are building.
Yes.
Together.
And so may God bless us all. May we find ways to connect with one another. And remember, if you need any help, please contact us at Connected Hearts. We'll be happy to help you. Our hope and our prayer is that we will not endure our marriages, but we will enjoy. May God bless us all. All right?
Yeah. Thank you so much. And check out for the next video coming up. And hit the button, subscribe. Peace from Connected Hearts 48.
Okay, bye-bye. All right.